Yo. Hey guys, just 1 second here. Let me send the link out to everyone. Okay. Just give that a minute. Let everyone get in. Okay. Just give it 1 more second. Let's just let everyone get in, and then we'll get started here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, I'll go over some tickers. I'm just going to go over an overview of the site first, and then I'll go over some tickers for sure. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in there, and we'll go over everything. What do I think? Okay, just give it a few more seconds here. We'll give it till 9:05. We'll get going there. Again, feel free to type anything in the chat you're wondering about, how your day was, trading, anything. What are we talking about? This is going to be a good one. I know a lot of people have been asking for this, so we'll definitely get this going here in just a moment. I just want to make sure people are in. They sent the link out a little late, so just want to make sure it's all good. That's all. That's all. We have some more updates coming out tonight right after this video, so the whole point, well, what I've been doing the past 2 days is making the site cleaner. nicer UI, removing some duplicates. We did have some duplicates on the site. Obviously, we don't need that, and we don't want that. The whole point of the site is to be simple. Everyone understand what they're looking at, and basically go from there. Okay. Give it one more minute here, and then we'll get going. But we're going to be going over tickers. We're going to be going over how I found those plays today. Nice and easy. Let's start with the regular heat map. We'll go over Tesla to explain how this kind of worked out. Really glad to hear that, Chase. Really glad to hear that, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, whole point is simplicity. I want people to understand, really what they're using, how they could use the site. I wanted to show track records. I wanted to be able to grow and actually learn from itself. And you can see here, like, for example, look at this. So we'll go into the node card, and you can see we have data, proven ceiling, 91%. Only the 69 graded touches for this, but still, 91%, 50% that it actually gets exactly to the volt. Now, usually volts could be 2, 3, 4, 10, 20% away. So, the fact that it's even over 50, 55%, is good. And then I added another one where we could track, obviously because the volts are magnets, I also wanted to see, okay, are the magnets actually working? They are. We're getting within 1 to 2 strikes over 77% of the time. I believe that number is going to get to around 84% in the next few weeks here. So, again, the whole point is to make sure everyone understands what is going on with the site, how they could use it, and basically go from there. Really glad to hear that, Donnie. And let's get going now. So, first off, let's just kind of explain how we took the Tesla trade today. I'll do a quick overview of the site, things I like to use, and especially go over the scanner, which I think is one of the most important tools on this site. I think we have one of the best scanners in the fact that it could gather a couple of different scenarios, and you'll see here when we kind of go over in just a few moments here. So for Tesla, let's actually quickly go into this. Okay. And the reason I say that is because it fits perfect for, why people actually wanted to, wanted this video to go live. And it was because of Tesla. So Tesla, for example, first of all, this is popping up for the first 4 names that we have here on the specific scanner. Biggest magnet is 420, and you can see the size here. So the size will change on these, and you can see, is it a big size compared to what it normally is? And then obviously you see Tesla is a very big size here. Okay, so let's kind of just dive in here. Let me remove all these. Okay, so when you get into the scanner, you're going to see a bunch of stuff here. Okay, I like to do the far volt scanner. I also have 2 more scanners that I'm going to show you. You could instantly click one of these buttons. It's going to get you started on long setups, short setups, or at key levels. Okay, so we want to do a long setup. So click that button. I like to look for volts that are around 3% plus away. I like to also preferably have their expiration within a week. And I like to skip monthly OPEX strikes because there could be a lot of hedging on those strikes. And for example, we have monthly OPEX next week for the 17th. I also like to have the volt that it's growing. So obviously it's showing that it's a bigger level. It can magnetize more. And there's obviously, a lot of people interested in this specific level. Then we go to right below multi-week volt stack. So what this basically saying is, are weeks after, in this case, we're doing a 1 week scan, okay? Is in 1 week, and this specific example is tomorrow expiration because we're already on Thursday. So July 10th, 1 week scan. Are the volts higher on July 17th? Are the volts higher on July 24th? And so on. That's what the stack higher is. And then you would have stack lower if you're looking for downside play, short setups. I also like to look for that the ladder is climbing, and the ladder being those expirations. Is the volt at 420? Is it at 425? Then 430? Then 435, for example. And that is considered the stair stepper. In this case, you can see it right here. This is one of our Holy Grail setups. So if I actually click the Holy Grail, you're going to see the rest of these four just go away, and it's just going to be Tesla. And the reason for that is its volts is at 410, 415, 420, and 430, all in a row there. And you can see this right here. Let me go to the spot. So this week is 410 volt. Next week is 415 volt, or I should say Monday expiration. Wednesday expiration is 420, and Friday expiration is 430. So you can see the volt is stacking in the Holy Grail setup. Every single expiration, it's higher and higher and higher. That is what we consider a Holy Grail. There was an example of this on IoT, and IoT could have been entered at 3490 yesterday. It hit over 37 today in just under 24 hours of trading. Same exact setup. It actually was better yesterday. As you can see, the volts are actually going down now. But it was a Holy Grail setup yesterday, and this one paid out very nicely as well. And then lastly, we'll go to Meta, which is also a Holy Grail setup. 625, 630. So the volt was higher in here. It must have came down just a little bit. I think it was a 635, so it was showing up on the Holy Grail setup. But we saw Meta at around 591, 592, somewhere right around there. And you see where it just ripped today. I should have grabbed something on there. I was too busy in some other things, so I didn't really, go into it. But another Holy Grail setup here. So I personally love this scanner. You could do Holy Grail. You're not going to get a lot of things, obviously. That's why we kind of consider it the Holy Grail. Or you could get the stair stepper, and you can see here, it shows you the ladder. It shows you, key supports, and the support may not be right near it, but this is also going off of key level. So this is where our tracking comes into place. This level, the $15 support, held 96% of the time out of 46 touches in positive gamma. Again, NCLH resistance, $21, held 91% of the time and 69 times on positive gamma. So this is where we add those stats into what we've already calculated in just about to be 4 weeks of time of the site being active. And then to go back to what we were talking about, the stair stepper is, it grows over time, the ladder, the expirations, but it could also kind of flatten out. Whereas you see Tesla, the Holy Grail, it's always growing every expiration. These, it could be flat and just continuously grow, but always higher than the price in this case because we're looking for longs. Okay, so very simple there. I have another save scanner. So I have that one saved as my stack higher volt. This was a great one, and it's not going to show anything right now. But we will pull up an example of it, IBM. And this was giving us a signal at 305, and it's down $10 in 2 days. You could see the actual 5 expiration stack of 300 here. And if we go into that again, so this specific scan is when a stock runs up into a multi-week volt. Obviously, we just saw IBM has 5 weeks in a row of a $300 volt. You could choose from it ran over 8% recently, or it ran over 15% recently. I always like to run the 8%, kind of see what's going on there. It doesn't mean I take the trade on it. I still always look at what is really happening on Voltic, looking at the expirations, and then I also look at the chart too. Again, Voltic is just a major Confluence tool that has really helped me out in the past few weeks in trading massively, as well as other traders who have, sent me some nice DMs, posted online, talking to Discord. I really appreciate all the feedback and thank you guys for that. Again, the whole point of the site is to make it nice, simple, and easy for people to use. And then my last one is a proven floor and or ceiling. So as we talked about, let's go to, was it Qs? No, where were we? Okay, we'll just use Rivian as an example. And this was actually one I was going to short on Tuesday, right before that news. It ran into 20. I was telling everyone, and everyone could back this because I was saying it. We had a massive setup for a short at 20. The volt was higher than usual, as you can see here, higher in size by over just about 1 million. And then it had a 91% proven ceiling. It ran right into that. And Rivian sent out that offering news. It went all the way down to $15. Would have been paid massively. So that's another scanner that I really like. And those are my 3 favorite scanners. I still have to screw around with a couple of things here and play around. And then same thing, you put the same thing to the downside and you find what you like there. I don't only look for long setups. I also switch it for the short setups, but I just use the long setups as an example. Okay, so let's kind of dive in here. Again, very simple. You're going to look at, we have a couple of nodes, okay? A volt node, which is the magnet node, and you could hover over every single thing. It'll tell you everything. Very simple. So volt node is up here for tomorrow expiration at 7:30. We got to around 7:25 today. That was our surge node. If we went back into a replay, and it was also our volt node at one point today. Play this. Let's go to the spot, and you're going to see here it's our surge node at this time at 7:25. As we keep playing through the day, you're going to see all this keep changing. So you could always go back and see how specific stocks moved, how their volts and other reversal candles played out. And then you could go back just about a week to see all this data. You can look at any expiration. Oh, actually, sorry, not any expiration. You could look at a couple expirations. You could do it in different ways, or you could do it with chart and it has your levels. And then it also shows you how it moved throughout the day here as well. Also on the replay screen, you're going to see what happened, throughout the day. So money was leaning, option premiums were leaning bearish throughout the day, even though we did push higher. There was an unusual put print of 34 times the volume and open interest. It started to get into its ceiling. It's only 1% away, as we talked about. 7:30 is a big one. And by the way, for QQQ, 100% only on 11. What's it called? 11 tags, but 100% of the time on positive gamma days, it has touched it and broke and rejected it. So want to keep that in mind. Another unusual print, 134 times volume over open interest. And again, you could open this a little bit more. You could see a couple of things here. But other than that, again, very simple, easy to use. Another key feature, QQQ, we're going to look at the chart here, and you can go back and see the gamma levels, the volts, surge, coil, reversal nodes, and dark pool levels. And you could put all this on the chart. You could add, basically how many levels you want. You can, play with the sliders on how much you want it to show. You can also remove these. There's so much you could do. And then you could add indicators, EMAs, SMAs, VWAP, RSI, MACD, willingness percentage. full screen it, so on and so forth. There's so much you could do with this, and this is a feature that is highly loved within Voltic and within the people who have been using it. Again, you could have multi as well. This is what I use when you guys see me on live every day. I have SPY, SPX, NDX, QQQ up, and then I usually sometimes just switch something out in between here that I'm watching. You can see everything in positive gamma at this current time. Here you'll see the highest, the heaviest spot on the ladder, which is actually the volt node right here, and then the lowest spot, the lowest amount of value. The lowest gamma level on the negative side. So again, very simple. You can click any of these, scroll, type in whatever you want. You can click any date you want, and then you could click these nodes and it'll bring you to everything. Again, you could also just click on a node. It'll tell you what that node is. It'll show you the chart, how much it's changed in size, and so on and so forth. Again, very simple. Whole point is simplicity for people to understand what they're looking at and be able to use it. If you ever have any questions, always click the Ask Voltic, and you could literally type in anything here. Here's some prompts just off the bat, but we'll tell you everything. Again, you have Vex, you have Jex, you have a guide, walk you through the whole board on every single page. It'll tell you everything. And we'll kind of skip it for now, but it'll tell you everything. You can go to 0DT. You can go to, if you just want to look a full month, you want to look a full 3 months, you want to look a specific expiration, or you just want all of them. Click all of them. And if you just want to select a few and you don't want to go through this, you just select 2, select 3. You don't want this one, boom. Again, very simple, easy to use. Whole point of that is the whole point. You could favorite stocks you want, obviously. Then we can just remove them. You can copy an image, set alerts. Colorblind, some people like the orange and blue. We have that on there. If you don't want the initial balance, if you don't want the initial balance, you can take that off like we just did. We have a plain English read, tells you exactly what the board is telling you. 730 is a call wall, 700 is a put wall. In this case, it's pretty far away for Qs. Its price is below the flip. Very simple. Tells you if you want to do the overnight, what has moved overnight compared to yesterday. Again, also intuitive. And then you have every other page. You have options flow, net drift, premium by expiry, dark pool flow, sector flow. It tells you all the sectors, everything there. If you ever have any questions, you could literally look at this. We made it as simple. Again, the whole goal is for everyone to understand what they are doing on the site. You click on these, it'll tell you a full explainer of what is an initial balance, so on and so forth. Go back here, and then we have lessons, and we go over all of this. So the whole point of, again, I said this already 5 times already, but I want everyone to understand how to use Voltic and, understand every single part of the site. Again, we're also going to be making more videos too, so people understand. And then we also have examples. So these are examples of trades we actually did. And we just put them in, simple little cards. So that's that. Frequently asked questions. My favorite, the track record. And again, this is growing. Again, we've only been open for 3 weeks, about to be 4. 89% of the time, coil nodes and positive gamma, 90% of the time, coil nodes and positive gamma stick and reject or bounce. 84% of the time in negative gamma. And again, negative gamma overall is more volatile, slippery, as we talk about here. And then we just use the word sticky for positive gamma. It's a little slower, so on and so forth. And we also had the data of how much it moved, if it broke through or if it actually bounced or rejected it. Reversal, 91% of the time. Going into call walls or put walls, 73% of the time. Gamma flips, rejecting and price turn there 95% of the time. So we are compiling all this data, and this will also make the site better as it learns from itself. And again, the sky's the limit for Voltic becoming better just off the data. And again, we're only 3 weeks in. Lastly, again, we just added the alerts page. You could put all the alerts here or how you want to be notified and so on and so forth. Morning brief. If you get this through your email, you'll see all your specific names that you like. And then we have our calendar, nice feature, tells you all the dates that are happening, monthly OPEX, Fed decisions, PCE, PPI, CPI, heavy closes, meaning auction days, fund rebalancing, end of month stuff. So everything. And we have expected moves, which are also on the heat maps. In the vault maps, you'll see those. Today's market story, what's happening, what happened, and you can see the expected moves right here. And I mean, other than that, it's again pretty simple. For tomorrow, can you tell which setup is good? Setup you like for bull and bear? Yeah, I'll go over a few tickers here. I'm going to go over John's and then basically kind of go from there. Setups I like for tomorrow, by the way, GEHS. Oh, sorry, GEHC. This is one we long today. We have multi-volts higher, actually 4 volts in a row higher. So it's basically a holy grail setup. It didn't show up there because it's not that 3%. If we actually put it on here, let's do this. Let's see. No, it didn't pop up. I wonder why. Yeah, I wonder why it actually didn't pop up. But I would kind of consider a holy grail setup. Maybe it's because the... Let's see here. Yeah, that's why. Since the open, that one's dropping. Yeah, okay, that's why. So since the open, some of these are dropping. That's why it's not coming up as holy grail setup. But we do have some upside here. I'm looking to close this around 66, 67, and basically move on from there. That's a setup I like. I like CELH. Another setup I like over the next week has upside to 32, possibly 32.50. And then we have the volt next week at 35. So I want to get out around 32, 32.50 and just kind of play there and be safe. For downside, I do want to see if Qs gets into 730. I would like to be short there. I really would. SPY, I think the same thing. Let's see. So SPY, it's a little mixed table. Obviously, Qs has been crazy with all the memory we've had lately, all the memory news and all that stuff. So that's a big one right there. And then let's go into a couple of these right here. So we have Google, Microsoft, and McDonald's. I'm going to go over those, and then I'll basically shut it off. Shut off the stream. Because I do have to do some updates here. By the way, just so anyone knows, we are having 50% off the first 3 months. That ends tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, and that will honestly never be back. So do take advantage of that. 50% off for the first 3 months just by going to voltic.io. I'll post that in the chats just so people can see. Okay. Okay, so let's do McDonald's first. Okay. So McDonald's showing higher over the next basically 5 weeks. Kind of sitting right here. Proven ceiling below at, proven floor at 96%. I just want to check the chart too. Yeah, McDonald's doesn't look bad. 3 days down. I would love for a dip into 275 if possible, maybe even 272.50 if it gets there. I don't think it will. But 275 looks good. Possibly look for maybe, when do they have earnings? They have earnings August 4th. I like to play deeper expiration. So, I mean, I would suggest probably if I was going to trade this August 21st, maybe 280 calls and play it like that. That's what I would think. But no, it doesn't seem bad. I like 3 days down. I like all the volts higher. Kind of looks like it could have a little bit of a run here. Even if it's, $4 to $5, that's still going to make it money. So I do like this trade. It's probably something I watch over the next few days, 100%. We'll go over Google. And then we're going to go over Microsoft, and then I'm just going to set it off here. So Google, first off, volts, 4 weeks higher. Very nice. Let me also check Google. Google, same thing, down 3 days in a row. Hit 350 today. So it hit this level right here, which is the surge wall. Oops. Surge wall right here. And for a surge wall, for example, so you can see here, the spot across from the hot spot where today's money is leaning the other way. So move tends to run into a wall there. And obviously, as you see, today's low on Google was 350.90. So we got just about 90 cents above it, and then we bounced just about $8 to $9. So if we can reclaim 360, I would love to see a move into 365, push through that, you got 370. And then we have multiple volts higher for the next couple of expirations. So I think 370 to 380 is definitely in the cards here over the next few days. Next one we have is Microsoft. Hey, what's up, Will? Next one we have is Microsoft. Okay, here, 384. Again, volt higher over the next 4 weeks. So nice there. Let me just pull up Microsoft too. Almost a bullish engulfing candle. Okay, so for Microsoft, I would basically kind of say the same thing. We want to see a move over 385, the surge node. You're going to see some rejection at 390, especially in positive gamma, with some nice size. And by the way, another thing. So the reason why you see these white highlighted edges is for those expirations. We do the top 3 nodes other than a volt, surge, or reversal are going to be highlighted. So you could see, where possible support and resistance can also be. So we highlight that to show you the other 3 strongest nodes on that expiration. But if we could get over 390, you're looking pretty good for 400, which is going to be a big spot. So keep that in mind. But it does look pretty good. I do, kind of like this too. And I think Mag 7 is waiting for a move. Not that they haven't been doing pretty decent recently, but the memory names have been, bringing down the market. They had a nice day today. We'll see how that kind of plays out going forward. Obviously, they all have had massive run-ups in the, past couple of months and almost a year. But yeah, we'll kind of go from there. What do I see for now? I'll run through that one, and then I'm going to hop off here because I do have to get some updates out and make sure. I actually also have to do all the volt maps that everyone requested. Okay, so now 110, 120, 120, 120. Okay, so again, pretty higher. This has been a strong name over the past couple of days. Even on the red days, it was doing good. I was actually talking about this today to a friend looking for a bounce at 101, 102. I think we actually got there this morning. So that's nice to see. It held that. So we should see a move if we can. Get over 110 is going to be key. And we could push higher into around that 112 spot, pushing into 115 and 120. You want to have now hold 100 to 102, and then you have upside higher into 115 and 120. So keep that in mind, and that's basically how I'd look at now going forward. Other than that, that's basically it. Again, if you guys are interested, Voltic.io, and 50% off the first 3 months, and that ends tomorrow at close of the market. Hope everyone has a great night. This is recorded. Again, whole point of the site is everything's tracked, everything's simple to use. You could click on anything and get an explanation so you actually understand what you were using, how you can use it to your advantage. So other than that, hope everyone has a great night. Let's finish the week strong tomorrow, and let's go kill the markets. Have a good one.